The 7 Steps to a Successful Student series is brought to you by the Student Loan Finance Corporation and iHelp College Planning Services. For more information on preparing your student for college, please visit us at ihelploan.com. Welcome back to 7 Steps to a Successful Student. I'm Doug High, your host. It's good to have you with us. We are coming to you from a college fair, folks. We've got students all over the place looking for answers. We've got them right here on stage with our resident expert, Ned Fraser, admissions professional. Ned, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So let's dive right into this. Now, Ned, I'm in the Navy Reserve. We live on acronyms, and you've got me stumped on this one. What is FAFSA? F-A-F-S-A.
FAFSA, Free Application for Federal Student Aid. It's a very important acronym. You must become very familiar with it. Anyone concerned with college costs needs to file a FAFSA.
What types of federal financial aid are there? And it's not just loans.
Right, absolutely. It is the gatekeeper for federal and, frankly, state programs that you may qualify for. These include the Pell program, they include the Stafford loan programs, but they also include other grant programs, namely the Perkins program as well. So there are any number of federal programs out there, not just loans, but grant assistance that may potentially be available.
Okay, you hit on grants. Do they need to be paid back?
Grants do not need to be paid back, and that's a good thing to know about any kind of gift aid or grant aid.
What are some examples of a common work-study program?
The federal work-study program, again, is a need-based program administered through the schools. You'd work typically 8 to 10 hours a week. You're paid a wage. You are expected to work. You are not paid to study, a misnomer there. So you do have real responsibilities and jobs around the campus, maybe the athletic office, maybe in other support areas, maybe in the library.
How do the colleges that I'm interested in obtain my FAFSA results?
It is up to you to make sure that they have access to your FAFSA information. That is information the government will not share just with anyone if they ask for it. So you'll have on the FAFSA form a way to indicate the institutions that you want to share this financial information with.
All right. How about signatures? Do parents and guardians need to sign as well on FAFSA?
Again, this is a team project. Not only will students have to file information related to their income and employment, but also the family. And yes, it does require signatures, and particularly for most of the families who will be submitting electronic FAFSA applications, you'll have to submit a PIN, a personal identification number, and yes, both you and your parents will have to have a PIN number.
So when filing taxes and getting financial aid or loans, how will that affect what I do with my tax return? Do I reference FAFSA?
It kind of guides everything, and in fact, if at all possible, complete your taxes before you submit the FAFSA form, because actual line numbers on your tax form you enter directly into the FAFSA form itself. If for some reason you're not able to complete your taxes by the time you need to submit that FAFSA form, it is okay to use estimated information, perhaps referring to previous year tax information.
Ned, is there a simple way to find out more information about this?
Yes, I would recommend a website, www.fafsa.ed.gov. Again, that's fafsa.ed.gov. It's a great resource how to manage that form, but also some other things that are useful to know about federal and in some cases state programs.
Ma'am, you have a question for Ned.
Yes. In case of like we're divorced parents, do you need to have both the parents' income information for the FAFSA form?
What I would advise and what you need to know is, in fact, the parent with whom the student spends the majority of the time during the year will be the one who needs to file the FAFSA. They will be considered for financial purposes the primary guardian for that student.
Okay.
We've got another question.
Right.
Please.
You were talking about tax returns. Is that my tax return or like my parents' tax return?
Her
This
tax
year,
returns or
last year?
parents' tax
Right.
returns?
This is a family project. In fact, it produces something called the expected family contribution. So yes, indeed, the student will be expected to disclose your income if you have any. It's not required, but if you're filing a form, a tax form, you'll have to declare that on your FAFSA.
A question, ma'am, please.
The money that you're awarded, is it determined by your income?
The FAFSA really is the gatekeeper for all kinds of need-based assistance for which you may qualify. So yes, it will indicate to the schools and also to them the kinds of programs, both federal and state, that you may qualify for and they can tap into. So the FAFSA is really the linchpin for the needs analysis that goes into putting together a financial aid award.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
I guess it's my understanding that some of the money in terms of the state, it's kind of given out on a first-come, first-served basis,
Yes.
based upon in terms of need. But we do have, we can go through and estimate the income for the projected income for last year starting for January in order to go through and expedite getting that paperwork in. Is that correct?
That is correct, and that's a great question. So for those of you who are coming from different states around the union, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the kinds of grant programs and assistance programs that are there, and if indeed they run out of money at a certain time, because you'll need to make sure that you get your FAFSA in. It really is kind of holds your place in line, and if you need to submit that FAFSA by a date certain to guarantee your access to those resources, and then you need to use estimated information, by all means do that. The earliest you can submit a FAFSA is January 1 of any given year, but it is based on the previous year's tax information. So you'll have to have that information at hand, but you can also submit using estimated information.
Thank you, Ned. Good intel as always. We are FAFSA savvy, and 7 Steps will continue. For more information on filing your application for federal student aid, please visit us at ihelploan.com or call 1-800-645-7404.